the reason why I'm buying Aerodrome's native token called AERO over Uniswap's native token called UNI is because I believe that AERO just has a lot more room to grow at this point. And now, of course, nothing I say is financial advice nor guarantee, but also on top of that, I think Aerodrome is just a much more revolutionary decentralized exchange. But I first want to talk about the potential upside because, for instance, if we take a look at AERO, let's say it were to go to the price of $20 during this bull run. Considering current circulating supply, at that point, market cap would be around $12 billion, and that would be around a 30x from here. Now, on the flip side, if let's say UNI were to do a 30x from here, again, UNI is the native token of Uniswap, at that point, considering current circulating supply, market cap would be around $116 billion. I mean, that's really a lot. Also, on top of that, the price of UNI at that point would be around $194. Yeah, that's a little bit way too much in my opinion. I mean, come on, right? When you take a look at, as a decentralized exchange, is Uniswap more established? Yes. Does it have more fans? Of course. Is the community bigger? Yeah, again. But in my opinion, I'm not in the world of cryptocurrencies to FOMO into random dinosaur projects. That's not the case whatsoever. I'm in this crypto space to get into something which I believe, again, has more room to grow. And I believe that's AERO as of right now. Much lower market cap. I think it has much more room to grow. And I think that Aerodrome is just a fundamentally much better project. I mean, you got to think about this. When it comes to Aerodrome, as a decentralized exchange, it's very special. After all, it's on the Base network. Now, you may be thinking, okay, what's so special about the Base network? Now, it's Coinbase's layer 2 network. And the way I view this is that it's pretty much a fail-proof network. Now, people may think, whoa, what do you mean by that? Things can fail. No matter the size. But in my opinion, this one is very difficult, if anything, hypothetically, because, again, if something is Coinbase's layer 2 network, do you think something that massive, aka Coinbase, is going to allow for its creation quite essentially to fail? Absolutely not. It would be a bad look. Also on top of that, they probably spent resources to build that. So, of course, it's not going to be a good look again. And keep in mind, it's actually built in collaboration with one of the biggest projects out there, Optimism, a very famous Ethereum layer 2. So yeah, they're just not going to let it disappear off into the abyss, if you know what I mean. A lot of networks out there, not just layer 2s, right? For instance, just network generally speaking, many of them, they don't really have the resources or the capabilities to stay afloat if things don't go the way they want to. Let's say market downturn, let's say something, bad happens, who knows, right? They don't really have the capabilities to make it survive. But when it comes to, again, the Base network, do you think that something like Coinbase or Optimism doesn't have the capabilities to let it survive? No, I mean, come on, of course they do, right? This is how amazing the Base network is. So when I see an amazing project on the Base network, why wouldn't I believe in it? This is so amazing in my opinion. And keep in mind, when it comes to the Base network, it's not some useless thing because some people out there, they think that, oh, it's just something flashy that Coinbase and Optimism put together. But no, that's not true because, it's actually serving such an amazing purpose. You take a look at Ethereum layer 2 in this case. What it does is that it allows Ethereum to be enjoyed, but at the same time not having to deal with a lot of the nonsense that it has, like, for instance, the gas fees and also the scalability issues, arguably speaking. So that's how amazing a layer 2 is, and the Base network, man, it's a thumbs up for me. And you take a look at, also, when it comes to the Base network, it's not like it disappeared off into the abyss, even though the market isn't doing the best, I would say, as of right now, but in terms of total value locked on DeFi, according to DeFi Llama, it's still, over $1 billion. So yeah, it's not doing bad whatsoever. And a lot of people, they may argue, okay, we don't really need another decentralized exchange. There's already Uniswap, there's already PancakeSwap. Why do we need, Aerodrome? What is all this caca nonsense about? But I do think we do need another decentralized exchange because, again, this one's different. This is on the Base network after all. And also, when I take a look at the decentralized finance market, just generally speaking, which of course a decentralized exchange does fall under the category of that, I still think that it has a lot of room to grow. And naturally, as it does grow, I think there's going to be room for a lot of good players to eat, in my opinion. Because think about this. According to Grandview Research, the decentralized finance market, aka the DeFi market, is predicted to be worth over $200 billion. Again, that's by 2030, which isn't that far away. I mean, we're so close to 2025 as of right now, which is kind of crazy to think about. But I think that, if anything, showcases how 2030, it's not even that far away. So when you take a look at a market that massive, is something like Aerodrome not going to have a place? I mean, come on, of course it's going to have a place. At least that's the way I view it. And also, you take this into consideration. When a market is predicted to be that massive, it's not going to be oversaturated very easily, because you take a look at the car market, for instance, it's so massive to the point that a car brand, much like Volvo, which doesn't have 90% market share, by the way, still able to become wildly successful, hiring thousands of employees. So that right there, I think, showcases that if a market is large enough, it's very difficult for the market to become oversaturated. Much like the DeFi market, I think it has much more room to grow, even though a lot of the hype did kind of die down as of late. But I think when it comes to the DeFi market, as it does grow, it's only fair to assume that something like Aerodrome is going to go along with the ride. So really, Aerodrome is a no-brainer pick for me. Uniswap was good years ago. I totally understand that. But in my opinion, nowadays, we need kind of the new and improved thing. We need something that's more revolutionary, something that's more enticing, also something that's way lower market cap. And again, Aerodrome's native token, I believe it's exactly that. And for whatever reason, some people like to think that Aero at the price of $20 is some random crazy pipe dream, but I disagree, because you take a look at Uniswap's native token called UNI. At its peak, back in 2021, it reached a market cap of around $22.5 billion. I mean, if Aero were to go to the price of $20 again, right? Considering current circulating supply, market cap would only be around $12 billion. I mean, can you imagine that? That's around, $10 billion less than UNI at its peak. So this isn't crazy. And I do believe that Aerodrome just has a much higher ceiling than Uniswap. I think it's much more evolutionary. And I think that it's just better overall. So I don't get why Aero won't reach that, especially as of right now. There's so many bullish factors. You take a look at the Bitcoin ETF, the number of institutional investors, how there's over 600 million crypto owners, according to Crypto.com research. These are all, factors that could very well allow this bull run to be so amazing. And I really can't wait. As of right now, yes, Bitcoin is having a pullback from its all-time high. I get it, quite a big one. But around a year from right now, I think things could look so different. So it's just a waiting game from here on out. I can only control what I can control, which is my dedication, my belief, just acquiring anytime earned income, dollar cost averaging, holding, just waiting, not giving up. I can control that, but I can't demand, Aero to pump right now. I can't demand Bitcoin to reach like 100K, today. I can't do that. So I'm only going to focus on the things that I can control. And historically speaking, it's not like we have to wait that much longer anyways, because if we take a look at it, the peak of altcoins could very well happen at a worst case scenario around October of next year. Now, why do I say this date? This isn't some random date that I pulled out of a bag and said, yeah, it's going to go to the moon at that date. No, that's not the case, because we take a look at how back in April, that was when the Bitcoin halving event happened. Now, based off of history, at a worst case scenario, usually altcoins, they peak around 18 months, aka a year and a half after a Bitcoin halving event, which based off of that date would of course mean around October of next year, which is why I mentioned that. But even despite that, if I have to wait till that long, is it necessarily a bad thing? No, I don't think so, because if I have more time to accumulate, why not? I don't think it's a disaster, right? If I have more time to accumulate. Some people like to think it is, but the more time I have to accumulate, I think it's actually a good thing. Now, of course, I don't want to wait like 4 years or something crazy like that, like 5 years. No, but, just around a year, I really don't mind. Aero has already showcased a little bit what it's capable of. Yes, having somewhat of a pullback, but I think this, if anything, showcases how it's still holding pretty strong. The community is amazing, and it's only better things from here on out. Imagine as Bitcoin goes to the price of 100,000, 150,000. Could you imagine what happens to altcoins and Aero as well? It's going to be amazing. So I can't wait to see Aero perform well during this bull run, but it's just a waiting game again. I don't want to give up right now, because I feel like I'm kind of nearing the end of the marathon. I've been through all the nonsense, like the FTX crash, Terra Luna, all that type of, nonsense again. Also on top of that, Celsius, 3 Arrows Capital. If I've been through all that, is waiting like another year so bad? No, I don't think so. So I'm still going to continue to wait. I'm still going to continue my strategy, because I'm not going to veer away from that. I'm not like one of these people who just randomly tries to day trade, use leverage, or swing trade. I'm not going to do that, because I don't want to act in a high emotional state. If I do that, I tend to make bad decisions. And of course, anything done in a high emotional state is typically never good, which is why I like to stay calm. And again, how do I do that? By just thinking more so about the long term, thinking about the fundamentals and dollar cost averaging, just acquiring, holding, and just waiting. That's it, because Aero, I think that it has so much room to grow at the price of $20. Market cap wouldn't be unrealistic. I think this bull run could be so amazing. And also on top of that, I think Aerodrome is just one of the best decentralized exchanges out there. So again, $20 during this bull run wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And I do believe that Aero is clearly a no-brainer pick for me. If I only had one shot to either, right, choose Uni or AERO, of course, I'm going to put all my eggs into AERO if it's only those options. Because, what is more likely to do over a 20x during this bull run? AERO or Uni? I think hands down AERO. So again, it's a no-brainer pick for me. I'm in the world of cryptocurrencies to get potential gains. I'm not, again, looking to get into random dinosaurs. And make sure to subscribe if you gain value from this video. I'd greatly appreciate it. It's been Lee the Captain, and I'll catch y'all on the next one. I'm out. Peace. Bye.